The real heist in the busy city of Guangzhou, people went about their day like any other. Among the tall buildings and bustling streets was a small bank, quietly serving its customers. It was a regular afternoon, with the usual sounds of people talking and papers shuffling until chaos erupted. A screech of tires outside was followed by the loud crash of masked men storming in. 4 of them, dressed in black and carrying guns, moved quickly. Their leader, a tall man with a calm yet commanding presence, stepped forward. "Everyone, stay calm. Get on the floor," he shouted. "The money belongs to the state, but your lives belong to you." The words echoed in the room, leaving the customers and bank employees confused for a moment. Then, panic set in, and everyone dropped to the floor, lying still. The leader's strange words stuck in their minds. He wasn't just yelling threats, he was making a point. This was a mindset shift, a way of changing how people think, even in a terrifying situation. The robbers quickly began their work. One of them went to the tellers, stuffing cash into a bag, while another headed for the vault. Meanwhile, a young bank employee panicked and lay across her desk, but her legs were sticking out awkwardly. One of the robbers noticed and sneered. The leader turned to her and yelled, "Hey, keep your composure. This is a robbery, not anything else." His sharp words startled everyone. Even his own team looked at him for a second before getting back to work. The leader was strict about one thing: focus on the job and nothing else. This was professionalism, staying on task and not letting distractions get in the way. In just a few minutes, the robbers filled their bags and were ready to leave. One of the younger thieves looked back at the vault. "Boss, should we check the vault again? There might be more money," he said. The leader shook his head. "No need. Don't be greedy. We've got enough. Let's go." Without another word, they disappeared into the crowded streets outside, vanishing as quickly as they had come. Back at their hideout, the robbers dropped the heavy bags onto the floor. The youngest one, excited and full of energy, grinned widely. "Boss, let's count the money. I bet it's a fortune," he exclaimed. The leader, now sitting calmly in a chair, lit a cigarette and smiled. "Why waste time counting? Just wait until the news tonight. They'll tell us exactly how much we stole." The young robber looked confused for a moment, but then nodded. This was experience, knowing how to use time wisely, something that comes with practice. Back at the bank, things were chaotic. Police officers were questioning employees, and crime scene tape blocked the doors. The bank manager, a sharp-looking man in a suit, seemed stressed but was already thinking about his next move. Pulling his assistant aside, he lowered his voice. "Listen," he said. "The robbers took some money, but how about we add an extra 10 million to the amount they stole? We'll say they took it, and it can cover some of our mistakes." The assistant raised an eyebrow. "You mean the losses from last month's bad investments?" The manager nodded with a sly smile. "Exactly. No one will ever know. The chaos gives us the perfect excuse." The assistant thought for a moment, then agreed. This was seizing the opportunity, using a bad situation to your advantage. As the police continued their investigation, the manager couldn't help but laugh quietly to himself. Turning to his assistant, he said, "You know, if we had a robbery every month, this place would actually start making money." His assistant chuckled nervously, unsure if the manager was joking. This was escaping stress, finding humor and relief even in difficult situations. That evening, the robbers gathered in their hideout to watch the news. The youngest one was especially excited, waiting to hear how much they had gotten. Finally, the anchor on TV announced, "Breaking news, a bold robbery in Guangzhou today. It is estimated that the thieves made off with $100 million in cash." The room went silent. The robbers stared at each other, then at the bags of money. The leader gestured for them to count it. For the next hour, they counted the cash over and over. When they finished, the total was clear, $20 million. The youngest robber slammed his fist on the table. "This is unbelievable. We risked everything, our freedom, our lives, and got $20 million. Meanwhile, that bank manager probably pocketed the rest without breaking a sweat." The leader sighed, leaning back in his chair. "This is the difference between us and them," he said. "Knowledge and power are worth more than a gun and a mask." This was, knowledge is more valuable than gold, a reminder that the smartest people often win without taking risks. Back at the bank, the manager was celebrating quietly. With a glass of expensive whiskey in hand, he looked over his accounts, smiling at the sight of his losses being recovered. Sometimes, he thought aloud, the best opportunities come when you least expect them. This was capitalizing on opportunities, turning risks into rewards with careful planning. And so, the story ends with a question: who were the real thieves? The men with masks, or the men in suits?